And our last type of factoring is factoring the difference of squares, square root, okay? Basically what I like to point out with this one is that what we're really having here is a trinomial, but there's no b, there's no x in the middle, so it really looks like this, all right? Plus 0b minus 144. And I think that'll help you to realize why we're doing what we're doing, okay? And so again, we still start always by checking if there's a GCF, and I quickly saw that there's nothing common between these two, so there's nothing I can do. And I also see that it's not a trinomial, it only has two terms. So right there I'm left with the difference, and difference is a subtraction, okay? The difference between squares. And what I mean by that are these two numbers perfect squares, okay? And yes, they are. So b squared, I can separate with b and b. And then you have the minus 144, okay? Just quickly, if we were to have a trinomial with 0b, it would still be the same step where you need to find two numbers that add together that make 0, but when you multiply, make minus 144. And in order for if you add two things together to make 0, they need to be, one needs to be positive and one needs to be negative, okay? And the two numbers that would make 144 would be minus 12 and positive 12, and same with adding them together would give you the 0, okay? And so I just have to do minus 12, positive 12. A lot of the kids will not go through this process. They just remember that if you have the difference of squares, you just put, you do the square root of 144, one's positive, one's negative, and they remember that, okay? If we look at B, we need to check if there is a GCF, and there is one. As you can see, we have the minus 4 that is common, and I want to take out not only 4, but minus 4, because I do not want a negative in front of the x squared. So when I take out minus 4, I'm left with x squared minus 25. And that's a big thing that a lot of kids struggle with. They tend to leave the 100, all right? They tend to take out 4 here, but not from the other one. When you take the GCF, it's from every term, of course. So I'm left with not a regular trinomial, but I'm left with a difference of squares. So I need to factor again, okay? So I'm left with minus 4 at the front, and then you open up your two brackets. Again, you would have to separate your x, and 25 is a perfect square, and the square root of 25 is 5. And if you quickly remember, one's negative, one's positive. If you would have written the positive and the negative, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's how you factor the difference of squares.